I'll say thanks for being here. And then next week is bingo. So just remind you guys that next week is bingo. We mailed out a bunch of bingo cards to everybody's homes. We mailed it out to most of the Owl Hotel, and we hope that's fun for you guys and fun for the adults, for the seniors too. Mark told you to check out your email for that reopening service. I would just say if you've got any questions, you want to save them till the end. That would probably be the easiest way to do it. And then we'll show you some slides along the way. So I'm going to show a video just if there's anyone that's got any, like, hey, what is Reach Out Rochester? And then we'll go back and forth talking about it.
Have you ever wanted to make a difference in the name of Jesus? Strengthen your relationship with him? Join us in August of 2020 for a week-long mission trip serving the community of Rochester. Reach Out Rochester is a great opportunity to serve the community by coming alongside local ministries to make a lasting difference. You could serve in a variety of different ways, anything from construction to outreach events, from landscaping to packaging diapers for families in need. Strengthen your faith with Bible-based programs both in the morning and evening. Grow as a youth group as you serve Christ together, while meeting new people and building strong Christ-centered relationships. Join us for Reach Out Rochester, August 9th through the 15th.
Rachel is going to be available for other voiceover work if you know anybody who needs a commercial done. Some things are going to be a little different this year for Reach Out Rochester because of, I don't know why, you maybe have an idea. One of them is our day camp is canceled because of Inspiration Point not being able to provide staff for it. That was going to happen in June. And so we are moving it to coincide with the week of Reach Out Rochester in August. We will, part of some of the students' experience, or probably all of them for part of the week, will be helping out with a VBS that will be hosted from here, from our own building, and our kids from our church, neighborhood kids and community kids as well. So that's happening. As of right now, the churches who are planning to join us is the church in Colfax, which they've been before, Westby, Wisconsin, which they have not been to Reach Out Rochester, but our students have seen them at other things over the last couple of years. And then Joyce, Iowa, almost certainly is going to have some students. They've been here before, and possibly West Iowa as well. I'm hoping they come through. And so it looks like it'll be those churches with us this time. So maybe 4, maybe 5 churches that are involved. None of them have huge youth, so it may be 2 or 3 or 4 from any of those churches that would join us. So what we've done in the past, we've had 40 to 50 people as part of it, and more churches than that. We've had it hosted here with Andy sleeping overnight all the time with kids, and others who helped out with that as well. Our mission for this is to have students from multiple churches and have them serve in meaningful and unique ways in the Rochester area in the name of Jesus. And so we'll have some new ministry sites. I think we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Mark is going to give you a little bit more.
So one of the things that, and this is everybody's just figuring this out right now, obviously, with, COVID, our job is we've got to keep people safe. As we take steps towards reopening, obviously we're trying to do our best to keep us as a church safe. And with Reach Out Rochester, obviously, we want to take care of people. We want at the same time, we want to build bridges with our community. So as we've talked about, like what could Reach Out Rochester look like? We know that some of the core things that we've done in the past, we know for sure that if things go the way that we want them to go, with more reopening, that we for sure we can't do everything we'd want to do. So we know that right now we can't gather. Like if we were to host or try to want to host Reach Out Rochester today, we couldn't do it with the current kind of openings that the governor has in front of us. So we know that we still need like the governor to make another announcement, which then would open the door a little bit more. And is that a dial?
That's turning the dial, yes.
And then like the reality that we've talked about is that if nothing changes by then, that's when we've got to make some hard decisions to say that no, we just can't do it. I think the timing for us in August, obviously we've had more of a summer to process and to kind of wait for things to happen. But if there's a chance of school being in person, probably our timing is going to line up closer with that type of announcement. That's kind of one of our hopes.
Yep. So a few of the changes that we are making, no matter what happens, we are not going to do overnight lodging at the church for participants. We are going to host homes this time around. And so, like for crafts, it probably would be easier for your kids to be hosted somewhere in Rochester than drive back and forth, would be my guess. So we probably have a home for them available, as well as kids coming from out of town. So we're going to need some volunteers to be open to hosting, a few students beyond maybe your own. That's one of the things. If social distancing is as it is now, it's going to make it very difficult to do anything with Reach Out Rochester. Assuming that is relaxed, there still may be some of those items that impact something. And we just don't know what that'll be at this point. So just to be aware that it could make it just a difference. The big ministry site changes are we will be doing our own Vacation Bible School, which is a big deal. I think it's a great opportunity for our students to be a part of that. We will be doing some serving at Camp Victory, which we've done both times before. One of the ones I'm most excited about that we're adding is working with the Landing. And I don't know if you guys know what the Landing is, but it's a homeless facility in the Rochester area. And Dan Fifield is the director of that. We've talked to him. He's super excited about having us do something. And that could be teams going out and helping with something for them during the day. It could also end up being, we all do like a meal in the park or something evening all together. We aren't sure, when we get a little closer and know how things are, we'll make a decision there. But I think that's a really good opportunity. And with Dan and with a big group, we can make that a safe event, but also really helping people who really are needed that way. We'll also be at Castleview doing some things. We will do a big event at the Highlands during this as well. And so the old schedule Mark is going to put up, so we've used in the past. And then he's going to show you the kind of updated schedule that we're working with now.
You all see that?
Yes. Do you guys have a fan on over there?
No.
Oh, every once in a while there's like wind or something coming through.
I can hear a little background.
Hard to hear.
I tried muting a few people thinking it was other people, but
Yeah. We thought maybe you had a fan oscillating back and forth or something.
no.
Yeah,
The
now.
sound is weird.
It sounds better now. I don't hear it now.
Could be other people streaming stuff.
I know. I'm just going to try to get rid of it.
We're gonna check and see if there's some other stuff that's streaming here.
People offline.
It's mostly when Mark Nino is speaking.
Yeah, it must be him.
just so you know.
Okay. I don't know if you can see the details on the schedule, and that's not super important to see necessarily the details here. But the thing so this is the 2018 schedule. The thing that I would just highlight here is that, we just said that, housing is not here at the church. That means that breakfast is not here at the church. So that would be the big change that you'll see from the previous Reach Out Rochester schedule. These would be some of the kind of just bullet points for what Sunday schedule would look like. Arrive at church 3 in the afternoon, as well our out-of-town groups. That's when they would arrive. We would do some sort of kind of team building activity at 4 once everybody's here to try to get people to know each other a little bit more, followed by dinner. And then because of, working with our kids, younger kids here at church, one of the things that we need to do is we need to walk everybody through the child protection policy. And then depending on, kind of the places that we'll be serving, we want to do a prayer walk where we're going to go and be able to pray over specific neighborhoods and specific peoples that we're going to try to serve. And then that night, we would host our evening service. So the different youth workers, pastors, we take turns speaking in the evening. So obviously we don't know who's doing what at this point, but that's the end of the Sunday night session. Then the weekdays, so this is your Monday through Friday. So you're having breakfast at home, and whether you've got kids that are staying from out of town or it's just your kids, we're looking for you to have eaten and had your lunch packed by about 7. And then we will do our team meeting at the church that morning. There'll be a devotion, not like a full service, but just something to kind of put in people's hearts for the day. And then there'll be 2 projects that'll happen. The morning project, which will go up until lunch, and then the afternoon project. And then the way that we've talked is that the afternoon project, one of them, and that'll be the big one, will always be Vacation Bible School. And the morning project will be maybe prep for Vacation Bible School. But the way we've lined it up, we've said maybe we need, say, 6, we'll break the groups into 6 teams. And we need 3 or 4 of those teams dedicated to VBS so that we can rotate people through the VBS and through the other projects. So if you're on the morning project, your job for VBS is to do all the prep work, to make sure you've gone over the details for the day. And then the second half of the day is the actual implementation of the VBS. The rest of the projects, they'll actually be, doing the actual, not to diminish the role of the prep, but they'll be doing the hands-on stuff in both sessions. Come back for dinner at the church, and then we'll do an evening activity. And one of the things that it's really important that we have fun as we do what we do. So we're always going to be chasing after trying to have fun, but we've got specific activities that we'll be building into each of the nights, whether it's a bonfire somewhere or it's going to somebody might be trying to get in. Hang on. I'm just going to look and see if someone's trying to get in. Can anybody see if somebody got in?
Vadim is in now.
Oh, good. All right.
Hi, Vadim.
Hi. Very sorry.
You're good.
So then we'll do the evening service, and then we'll do the evening activity. The evening service will have, it'll be a full worship and teaching and stuff, and then back to your host homes at night. And then the Saturday schedule is very short. It's we recognize we won't have a ton to clean up here at the church because people won't be staying here. There'll be the closing service and a time of lunch, and then our groups from out of town, they'll go back, and obviously we'll go back too. So that's a look at our schedule.
So hi, Vadim. No, I wasn't really cutting out. Is the voice any better if I lean toward the microphone? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. The cost is going to be, I believe it's the same as it was last time, which is $125 per student, which covers food, t-shirt, all the evening $150, sorry. 150, not 125.
Got it.
The extra 25 goes toward the pastor's fund. No, 150 food, T-shirt, all the evening activities, and some of the ministries we're gonna have to put some money towards supplies and things for ministries, so that covers that. Our goal with Reach Out Rochester is to have the church break even on, it doesn't cost the church anything, but we aren't trying to make money either. And the last 2 times we've been within $100 of breaking even one way or another on both the previous. So I think we have a pretty good handle on where that's going to look like. We will, because of that, as I said before, need some host home volunteers. So if you're interested in that, let Mark know, and we'll start to recruit some of those. And they don't have to be families of students who are coming. We may look beyond that for host homes as well. But we'd love to, if you could add a student or 2 to your setup, that would be great. We will need some drivers who will go out with teams. And so if you are able or interested in volunteering, what we've done in the past with the adult volunteers for drivers is, if you can only volunteer 1 day, fine, we'll take you 1 day. If you can volunteer 2, we'll take you 2. Some people want to do the whole week, we'll take you the whole week. But we'll need to get some drivers. We'll need some people providing the evening meal. And so we'll need some people to work on that. And we probably will need some adults to help out with the VBS part as well. And so all of those things would be some volunteer needs for this. And again, it isn't just parents that need to do these things. We'll go beyond, but we want to let you know about those. The application deadline for Reach Out Rochester was like 2 weeks ago. And no one applied because we aren't even sure what was going on at that point. But we are bumping that out to the end of June. So we'd like to have a handle on who's coming by the end of June, so we can start planning how many groups do we have to send out to places, how many host homes do we need, how many T-shirts do we have to buy, all that stuff. And so if we have that little more than a month of lead time, we can pull that off, but that is cutting it as close as we possibly can. And so like end of June really means end of June. So, if you know you're coming, we'd love to have at least, just even if you don't pay anything, just at least tell us you're coming for sure now. And then we don't really believe you until we get some money, but that's that.
I'm going to share a screen again. Okay. Okay, so I put up 2 web pages for you to look at. This is all on the same page, but on the top of the web page. And if you go to the church web page and you click on events, there'll be one for Reach Out Rochester. The top half of the page has got our 1-minute promo video. It's got all the registration stuff. But then if you go down to the bottom of the page, and we would have all this stuff printed out here at church. And maybe we'll be able to make it printed by request. But we're trying to go touchless here at church with paper, so we can work on that if anybody needs. But the bottom of the page, you'll see the registration form, release form, things like that. And I think that's the last stuff that I'll share with you. But the one other thing that I wanted to talk about regarding this is just the cost. As we talk, it's $150. If $150, that sounds like, all right, that's a steep price, or hey, I haven't done any fundraising up until now, and I don't know if I can do this. Just talk to me or Mark. Like, we don't want money to be the reason why somebody can't be a part of this. Please also know that a number of you have money in student accounts. So if you're curious, like, hey, what do I have? Shoot me a note and I'll tell you what you have in your accounts. We had been hoping before all this happened for 3 different fundraisers that could be happening. One was continuing to do stuff at the Civic Center, if need be, or as needed. And then the other would be, we were going to talk about selling discount cards, not just for this, but for the youth convention, which is coming up in a summer from now. But the only other thing that we really have that we can do right now is still selling gift cards. So there's a few people that have been, even through COVID, buying and selling, or buying, I should say, gift cards. So as we come to this place where we're going to open up the church, we're not going to have the gift card table out on Sundays because we're trying to be touchless. But if you know that, hey, I need this or I want this, I'll prep the order for you. I'll put the cards in your mailbox. You can just pick them up in your box, and then you can just leave the money. You can just pass it on to me, I guess, as you exit the sanctuary or exit the church that morning. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that, like, we don't want money to be the reason why that this doesn't work. And first option, if we can fundraise. Second option, if we can help in any way that we can.
And then Ella's college fund will go to pay the rest. Ella's not agreeing with that.
She's going to live with us forever.
Right. Then, well, should we take questions now and then go to the other stuff? Questions.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. We have two other things that we're going to talk to you about, but why don't we, if you want to unmute your machines, and if you've got any questions that you want to ask, I have one question for you guys, but you ask us your questions first.
Mark, could you describe the landing again? That was part of the part where you were choppy.
Yeah.
Yep. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. So the landing is a ministry in Rochester that works with homeless people in Rochester. And Dan Fifield is the guy who's the founder and the head of it. And we've worked with him quite a bit. We had him lined up to come and share his testimony at a men's breakfast, but it was canceled by coronavirus in March. And so we didn't get to hear from him, but he's really excited to have our students work with that. And it could be that a group would go and do something with the landing during the day. Or it could be we all do something with the landing, like hosting a meal for homeless in a park or something as an evening event that everybody would be a part of. And so it could be both of those things. But I'm confident that with how he does it, and with a large group, that we can serve those people in a way that is safe for us, for all of our students as well. Is that?
Yep.
Okay.
And then, sorry, I have a couple questions. So the host homes, would our kids stay with us other than maybe the crafts?
Yes.
Yeah. And we would be soliciting host homes for, anybody from church that's willing.
Wait.
It's not just our event participants necessarily.
Are you trying to get rid of a couple kids for a week, Andy? You want to?
I think my kids would prefer to stay at grandma's and have her cook for them, maybe.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's airplane. That's the big. We've tried to.
Any other questions?
Are you going to need drivers, though, back and forth between the homes?
Put our bed right in front of the closet.
Host homes?
Well, we're hoping that the host home people will accomplish that. But if there was a situation where they couldn't, we would need some drivers to do that, or we would need to recruit drivers. So yeah. We won't need as many drivers in general because we're going to have, some teams that are going to stay at the church. And so there won't be quite as much traveling out to places as there has been in the past. But we'll still need probably 3 to 4 drivers every day.
And I will definitely need some adults to stay and help with day camp or with VBS or whatever we choose to call it. We'll have some teenagers help, but I need to have adults also. Yeah, VB camp or something like that. I don't know. We'll come up with a good name, and we'll be choosing a curriculum too. I'll be looking at the various curricula, and Inspiration Point is also offering day camp in a box. So I'm checking into that also. We might just choose to use that. And it's kind of depends on how many children we have coming as to what the schedule will be. And I'm not absolutely sure that we'll be doing it every morning. We may reduce it to maybe 3 mornings out of that week. That's all up in the air still when we find out how many will come. But it won't be the whole day like day camp usually is. It'll be just afternoons probably.
Is there a minimum age or grade for Reach Out Rochester participants? Like going into 7th, or what are we saying?
Going into 7th would be.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a question. So can I be like a volunteer or like not staff, but like, can I be a volunteer instead of like being one of the students?
We usually have our high school seniors, this kind of be the last hurrah of what they do as youth. And so, but you know, I think we'll lean on our seniors for some extra help for things too. I think that's fair to say, but would still be, you know, a participant from most of how it works, I think. If that makes sense. But we'd love to have some leadership help from some of our seniors. Any other questions? Well, maybe should we switch to the other?
Yeah, we got 2 other things. Just these will be a little quicker, but just to put in front of you.
So next.
Oh wait, before you do.
Okay.
Can I just ask? Like, I'm just kind of curious. You know, I see some homes, Carlson's, you've got multiple kids. Like Crafts, you got multiple kids. You know, how many kids? Like, show me fingers, parents, of how many kids you think for your home are interested in going. 2, 3.
We have 2 or 3.
5,
Okay.
6. So there's probably about 8 represented by this group right here. Okay.
Okay. So this coming fall, we're gonna mix things up a little bit on how youth group and confirmation work together. And what our plan is at this point, again, assuming we're back to some sort of normal Wednesday night setup, is that we would have confirmation students with the high school students for the first part of youth group all the time. And so that instead of doing a game with just confirmation, that game and intro time will be with the high school in the youth group. And then sometimes if the lessons are going to be different, and we will still cover the same subjects and normal thing we do for confirmation this coming year, we would split the confirmation students out for the final 45 minutes, which means we are going to go 6:30 to 8 for confirmation as well as high school. So the first 45 would be with the high school, and the last 45 would be separate sometimes. Other times the topic for the youth group is going to be compatible or the same as what we would be doing for confirmation. And so on those, we'd stay together all the way till, say, the last 15 or 20 minutes. And then when we go to break out to small group discussion, confirmation would break out into its own small group for discussion, and the other high school students would break out into 1 or 2 other groups. And so that's a change, but it leverages the number of students we have a little bit better for both things, and creates a little bit bigger group for the youth group at the start. And then we still can do the confirmation stuff we need to do with them. And so confirmation would still have, you know, the similar types of homework as we've had, where they're going to be reading through books of the Bible and answering questions. And we'd always have some amount of time as just the confirmation class, like 15, 20 minutes at minimum. Sometimes it'll be 45 minutes. And then that game time and opening we'll do all together. If that makes sense to everybody, that is our plan, starting in September.
And then the other thing that I was just going to name is, it might sound kind of strange in the midst of all the things that's going on right now, but we're starting to look with some other churches about caravanning to the youth convention in 2021 via bus. So we're just starting to explore that. I think I've got a meeting in about a month, a Zoom meeting with a bunch of churches talking about a bunch of things. But one of the things that some of them wanted to talk about was traveling together again. Oak Hill loved traveling with us. So did Ebenezer. And then a couple other churches have said, hey, we plan to go next time. Can we travel with you? So we're going to look into combining forces for that. Any questions that we can answer about anything, which that's daring to throw out there?
Everybody's still muted.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's making cricket sounds. All right.
I don't have anything else.
I got nothing else either.
And so, yeah, we'll just we'll keep in touch on plans. I mean, we're moving ahead with plans like Reach Out Rochester is 100% happening. And we're going to be lining up ministry sites and doing all the planning. And, but at this moment, without some changes in guidelines, we wouldn't be able to do it. So we're hoping that those changes will come as we do our final planning here and are ready for it. So, but obviously, if you signed up and something happened where we had to do just VBS and we didn't really do Reach Out Rochester, we're going to refund any money that you put into it and things like that. So you don't have to worry about that.